Flightboss, bitch! You know, for sure. This is the Mind of an Antares Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here on Earth to carry out God's duties and responsibilities. And I want to, a lot of people, I'm going to be dropping the flight luggage, which is when I get all my mail from my email, and I'm going to drop that video every Sunday. I was thinking Monday, but I'm still not even sure yet. So just be watching. If I drop it Sunday, that's going to drop every Sunday, because I already started getting a lot of emails and a lot of questions. I want to thank everybody who even went to the email and asked questions, so and participated. So if I drop it Sunday, it's going to drop every Sunday. If I drop it Monday, then that means it's going to drop every Monday. A lot of people is telling me Monday is the best day to do it, but I think Sunday represents the sun, so it'll shine a light more exquisitely for the rest of the week when I run down the questions. But I don't know, man. I'm still debating. But right now, this video right here is going to be about easier ways to know how to relate your planets with other planets and the relationships it has within you. So all the planets you see up there, you have those planets within inside you also, which is the sun and the moon. Now, we're going to exclude the sun and the moon for this video because the sun, moon, and the rising is actually you. So these things I'm about to talk about is filtered through your sun, moon, and rising. So before it can show as an expression on your face, or show as an expression of your movement, or show as an expression of your personality, that's being filtered through the rising, which aka the ascendant. The way you think about it, your emotional state, the way you react to things, the way you feel about certain things, that's these things being filtered through your moon. The way you put things into action, the way you, the things that you're into, the things you're most comfortable with, liking and disliking, that's these things being filtered through your sun sign. Now, what things are being filtered through your sun, moon, and rising? The planets. Now, the actual planets is what's being filtered. And for people to understand better about their own natal chart, because that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to put things in the most basic terms for the most average person, the most 3D person, the most low density person, the most low consciousness person could watch this video and get a spark to make him want to rise a little bit, him or her, or it. But at the same time, I'm not sugarcoating anything. So for anybody first timers getting this or whatever like that, I'm finna talk about the planets and how they relate to you as a person and how they actually relate to each other. So once you know this, you'll have a better understanding how to know when your Jupiter is kicking in, when your Mercury is kicking in, opposing to this thinking like, okay, a lot of things happened today, let me go watch a video of somebody explaining how to differentiate all of them. So right now, that's why you got me on Earth right now. So look, these planets are being filtered through your sun, moon, and rising. I just ran down what the sun, moon, and rising do and how they filter these attributes. So now, we're going to go to your personal planets. Personal planets. Now, personal, reason why it's called personal is because they're the closest planets to the sun, which is Mercury, Venus, and Mars. Mars is 50-50. We have three categories with these planets as being in. Now you have your personal planets, which is Mercury, Venus, 50% Mars. Then you have your social planets, how you is socially through the energy you attract, how it outs, how the energy you receive. These planets will be how you output it. So you receive an input from your personal planets, and your output planets is how you contribute it to your surroundings or your area or the closest surrounding you're at. So these planets are the other half, 50% of Mars, Jupiter, and 50% Uranus. You know what I'm saying? 50% Uranus. We want to say 50%. So right here in the middle right now we got Saturn, Jupiter, 50% Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, 50% Uranus. Now we go into the generational segment. And the generational segment is 50% Uranus, the other half 50% Uranus, Pluto, and Neptune. Now notice about these three categories. Three categories have two planets that's confirmed in it. Two planets that's confirmed in it. And one planet that interacts with each category. So, and confirmed in personal planets is Mercury, Venus. Confirmed in to socially planets is Jupiter, and Saturn. Confirmed into generational planets is Pluto, Neptune. Now the interchangeable, which is the 50%, which they wiggle wabble. What wiggle wabble from personal to social is Mars. What wiggle wabble from social to generational is Uranus. Reason why they 50% in, 50% out is because these planets hold on a circumference of the area of the in sky between the planets that actually transition from one to another. So Mars transition from personal to social. Uranus transition from social to generational, just because they're on that peak aspect in the sky of leaving from being close to the sun and being far from the sun, and then Uranus being close to the previous planets and being far from them. So these are the transitional planets. Mars is a transitional planet. Uranus is a transitional planet. So Mars and Uranus has a lot of qualities, just like the moon and Saturn. But we're going to exclude the sun and the moon and the rising in this video. You know what I'm saying? Just for the sake of this. Now let's get into examples of these three categories. Now your personal planets, which is Mercury, Venus, and 50% Mars, these aspects are closest to the sun. What is the sun? The sun is your actions, your vitality. What created your body here on Earth, which was the light, the sunlight. Like you plant a flower, the sunlight hit it, you gotta water it, it's in dirt, and the air gotta breathe a certain way. That's all the elements combining into one, making you physical. That happened the same thing with us here. So by the sun being one of the biggest stars and the closest to the Earth, it's gonna appear that it's most important. So that's why sun signs seem like it's most important through the consciousness anyway. That's why sun signs is the first thing you see in newspaper. That's why sun signs is the first thing you see when people are talking about your horoscope. Because the sun actually, from an Earth perspective, is already one of the most valuable and most things we can see anyway. So that's how it's going to play out here. That's why I do the 10-day weeks, because these things are real. But I start rambling, I get into a whole nother world. Let's stay on topic. Now, the personal planet is close to the sun, so it's gonna be. These are things that's gonna closely play out with your actions, and actually your reactions too, which is your moon and your rising. These are the closest things that a person can pinpoint, because they're the closest to the sun anyway. So these are the closest. Mercury and Venus and 50% Mars are the closest attributes that's going to be filtered through your sun, moon, and rising. So you may do a lot of things in your Mercury and Venus way, and a person might say you're that sign instead of your sun sign, because these are the closest elements and attributes to your sun. So these are going to get played out the most frequently, and they change signs most frequently also. This is another thing why I do that, like the planets itself. So within you, whatever sign you was born in, that your Mercury and Venus and 50% of Mars is in, it's going to play out like that, and it's going to, this is how, like Mercury is communication. I'm switching different words every second, right? Mercury changes signs faster than all the other planets. You know what I'm saying? So you see what I'm getting at? Now, we want to talk about the category. The category is actually the personal planet. So these are how you personalize what's going on. So say you're a Mercury in Gemini and a Venus in Gemini. The way you love and the way you intellectually put your thoughts together are going to be in Gemini ways. And the way it gets filtered, say your sun sign is in Sagittarius, it's going to get filtered through Sagittarius actions. Say your moon is in Cancer. The way you're going to think about this Gemini, Venus, and Mercury is going to get filtered through the thought process of Sagittarius. Say you are Virgo rising. The way these things show off you is going to be in a Virgo way. Like the way you intellectually thinking about something, the way a person look at you and see how you doing that is going to be in a Virgo way. So you know what I'm saying? That's how these play out. Then the 50% of Mars, a little bit of Mars going to play into that. Just because the position that Mars is at in the sky is going to play into that. So, and then the other half of Mars is going to play into how you is socially, how you play out these characteristics, which in an environment. So, say Jupiter, which is one of the social planets, Jupiter, Saturn, and 50% Mars. Say your Jupiter is in Aries. So the way you play out your Jupiter qualities, the way it's going to be played, the way it's going to get filtered through your sun sign. But the way you play out socially, which how you expand on knowledge, or how you expand on, or how you give advice, or how you give, or how you relate to people, or something like, or how you comfort a person, these things are going to be filtered through the Jupiter. And the way you put it into action is that Jupiter gets filtered through your sun sign. You know what I'm saying? So say your Jupiter is in Scorpio. The way you would expand someone's feelings, matter of fact, that's what you would do. You would expand someone's feeling. So say someone is going through a hard time. You would think the only way to get them through it is expanding that feeling that they have, and actually dealing with it by going through with it, and let's talk about it. Let's dive deep into it. A lot of people who don't got a lot of water qualities in their chart don't like to dive into their emotions, don't like to dive into their problems, don't like to dive into their feelings, and they like to handle it another way. And some of these people may burst off explosion once it pile all up. So these people would need water signs and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's a little aspect of an example for socially. Now generationally is how you fit in this generation. So say you're Pluto, like Pluto or Neptune. Let's say everybody's Pluto. Like I'm from the generation of everybody Pluto and Scorpio. So that's my role. I'm gonna play in this generation. So the angles that my Pluto and Scorpio is having with my other planets is how I actually step my foot in a generation of Scorpio. You know what I'm saying? So say alright, if you was born in my low frequency generation, then your Scorpio, Scorpio will actually be your Pluto. So in my chart, Pluto, my Capricorn is in Saturn, my Mars is in Saturn, my Neptune is in Saturn, my Mars is in Saturn, and it's 29 degrees Saturn. So my Mars is exalted, my Sun is exalted, and I have another ruler somewhere. But we ain't gonna get into that right now. Right now we're gonna talk about how the fuck it relates when it's going to other shit. Now, my Pluto being a Scorpio actually creates a sextile with my Saturn. It creates a sextile with my Saturn, my Pluto. No, I mean my Saturn, my Capricorn, and my Mars. It's a harsh sextile though, because since my Mars is 29 degrees. But look, check this out. For an example. My Pluto is in Scorpio, so it makes a sextile to my Capricorn. My Saturn, and my Saturn, and my Uranus, and my Neptune, because they're all in Capricorn. So by my Pluto making a sextile to my generational planets, which is Neptune, Uranus, which is 50%, and Mars is down. But we're not gonna talk about Mars right now. We're gonna talk about generationally. So in this generation, I'm going to be the one that build certain programs and paradigms that helps this generation. Just because my generational Pluto is in sextile with the 2 other generational planets. It's not, you see what I'm saying? It's in sextile with the 2 other generational planets. Then my Jupiter is in Taurus. So it's actually opposite of my social. So one of my social planets. So my generational Pluto is in Scorpio, and it opposites my social planet Jupiter. So what this means is I'm a social opposite when it comes to the generation. So in my generation, the way I expand my thoughts, which my Jupiter is in Taurus, the way I expand on building is in a way that my generation I'm in, they don't do that. So I do things in an opposite way my current generation is in. So that make me unique in a lot of ways. And then by it being in sextile with my other generational planets, I'm gonna be a builder. Since it's Saturn and Uranus, I'm gonna be a builder in this generation, and the things I build on gonna be things that's opposite to what this generation is doing. Because one of my social planets is Jupiter, and Jupiter is in Taurus, and my generational Pluto is in Scorpio. So it's already an opposite. My social consciousness is opposite to the majority of my generation I was born in. See, these is how it play out. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving you an example of my own chart. And you know, that was perfect examples of how it play out in your chart. So now you could go on your chart and see your placement in the generation that you're in, and see your placement and have a better outlook on how to relate. Because one thing about this shit is there's millions of different ways to interpret everything. You can't get a natal chart from someone and think it's done. It's so many side laws and side mathematics that it's impossible to fully know yourself. There's so many combinations you can come up with in this shit. You know what I'm saying? But this is just one on how to place yourself in this generation, and having your personal planets, your generational planets, and your socially planets, and how they interact so you can have a broader aspect on how to relate your chart and really set foot into your place on Earth. You know what I'm saying? And that's just this video right here, you know, for sure. Flightboss, you know, and I'm going to be here kicking this knowledge 24/7. And, you know, I don't even believe in numbers like that, so we ain't even going to say 24/7. Because sometimes it might switch to 24/8, 25/6. You know what I'm saying? So that's an illusion. But that's another video. You know, for sure. Flightboss, bitch. Air. Gramps. O's. Flights. Mind inventories moving, nigga. Here to carry out God's duties and responsibilities, nigga. Look at this beautiful surroundings. Yeah, I'm really there. I'm not in no house. I'm really there. Flightboss.